The rain was shouting that day when I saw the school bag dancing inside the gutter like it wanted to die. People were screaming, someone jumped. My heart beat hard because that bag did not belong to just any child. It belonged to the quiet girl that always passed my door like she was carrying secrets bigger than her body. Before that day, I thought I knew everything happening on my street. My name is Mama Kudirat. I sell akara in the morning and rice in the afternoon. I sit in front of my house most evenings because inside is hot and small. From my spot, I see everybody that passes. I know who is fighting, who is hungry, who is pretending to be fine. That is how I noticed the small girl. Her name is Zainab. Every school day, around when sun is still hot but not burning, she walks past me. Brown uniform, white socks that are never really white, and a school bag that looks too big for her back. She always walks like someone counting steps. The strange thing is what she does before entering her house. There is a big open gutter in front of their building, black water inside, smelling bad, always full of dirt. Zainab will stand there, bend down, and place her school bag gently beside the gutter, not throwing it, not rushing, like she is laying a baby down to sleep. Then she enters the house with empty hands. First day I saw it, I laughed inside me. Children of nowadays just want to play. Maybe she wants to be free before her mother sends her on errands. Maybe she hides the bag so she can roam the streets. Second day, same thing. Third day, same thing. I started watching closely. She never plays after dropping the bag. She does not run, she does not shout. She goes inside quietly. After some time, when everywhere is calm, she comes out again, picks the bag, and carries it inside. Always careful, always like she's guarding something. One evening, I called out to her. I asked why she always drops her bag there. She looked at me like a goat caught in light. Her eyes moved left and right. She did not answer, she just smiled small and ran inside. That smile did not sit well with me. I told myself not to mind other people's business. Everybody has their own problem. Hunger has finished plenty of people, so who am I to question a child? Still, each day when I saw that bag by the gutter, my chest would squeeze small. Then that day came. The sky turned dark early. Rain started falling like someone poured water from heaven with anger. The gutter began to swell fast. Zainab had already dropped the bag and run inside. I stood up from my seat. I wanted to shout. That was when the bag started moving, and before I could open my mouth, the water almost took it away. When the bag started moving, my legs refused to stand at first. Rain was falling hard, beating the ground like it was angry with all of us. The gutter water rose fast, brown and dirty, carrying slippers, nylons, and even one dead rat. The school bag slid closer to the edge, shaking like it was scared. People started shouting on the street. Some ran inside. Some stood under zinc roofs watching. I shouted Zainab's name with all my strength. My voice got lost inside the rain. That was when Sadiq, the mechanic, jumped out from his workshop. Without thinking, he ran and stretched his hand into the rain. He caught the bag just as the water pulled it. The force nearly dragged him too. Two other boys helped him pull back. When Sadiq held the bag, his face changed. He looked surprised. The bag was heavy, heavier than books should be. Water was already soaking it, so he opened it quickly to save what was inside. Everybody moved closer, including me. The first thing we saw was food. Not one food, plenty food. Rice tied inside clean nylon, bread wrapped careful like something precious, a small flask with soup inside, 2 boiled eggs wrapped in old paper. Everything packed neat, like someone who respects food did it. My heart started beating fast. This was not play. This was not a child hiding homework. This was planning. Sadiq dug deeper and brought out papers. Hospital card, drug paper, a small note written with rough handwriting. For Mama, eat small before night. My eyes became hot. I felt something heavy enter my chest. At that moment, Zainab's door flew open. Her mother came out, weak and shaking. Her wrapper was loose, her face pale. When she saw the open bag in Sadiq's hand, she screamed and fell to her knees. She was crying and begging at the same time, asking us not to shame her child. That was when the whole story began to open like wound. The woman was sick, very sick. She could not walk again. Zainab had been the one helping her. Every day after school, Zainab would collect leftover food from her friends. Some teachers noticed and added small. A food seller near the school sometimes gave her rice when customers did not finish. Zainab kept everything inside her school bag because she did not want her mother to feel pain seeing her child struggle. She dropped the bag outside every day so she could first enter the house, greet her mother, check her body, and make sure she was okay before bringing in the food like it was nothing. The street went quiet. Even the rain reduced small. I felt ashamed. All the days I sat outside and judged that child, all the days I laughed inside my heart, hunger had made that small girl grow old too early. I moved close to Zainab and held her wet shoulder. She was shaking, not from cold, but from fear that she had been exposed. I told her she did well. I told her she was strong. I told her that hiding hunger does not make it disappear. That night, nobody cooked in their house alone. Rice, garri, soup, money, all entered that small room, not because we were rich, but because shame had taught us something. And as I watched Zainab carry that bag inside without hiding it, I knew that the gutter had finally spoken. After the rain stopped, our street did not return to normal. Something had shifted, like when a tooth is pulled and the mouth keeps touching the empty space. I woke up the next morning with Zainab's face still sitting in my mind. That day, I did not set up my akara tray early. I sat and watched people pass, but now I was seeing them different. I was seeing what they hide, not just what they show. Zainab did not go to school that morning. I noticed because her door stayed closed. Around midday, I carried a small pot of soup and went to knock. Her mother opened the door slowly. The room was hot and dark. Zainab was sitting on the floor, arranging her books. When she saw me, she stood up quickly, like someone caught doing something wrong. I told her to sit down. I told her she did not need to rush anymore. Her mother started talking. She said she used to be strong. She sold vegetables in the market before sickness bent her. At first, she tried to hide it. Then hospital bills finished everything. Zainab started helping small by small. She said Zainab wakes early to cook small before school. She washes plates, sweeps, and still reaches school on time. She never complains. She never cries. Listening to her, my chest felt tight. A child should worry about homework and play, not hospital cards and feeding plans. I asked why Zainab never told anyone. The woman looked at the ground and said, "Pride can starve people quietly." She did not want neighbors to look at her like a beggar. Zainab understood that shame and carried it for her. That afternoon, Zainab followed me outside and sat beside me. She did not talk much, she just watched people. I gave her akara and she ate slowly, like someone used to saving food for later. Some children passed and laughed. They asked if she would still drop her bag by the gutter. Zainab looked down. I felt anger rise inside me. I chased the children away. I told them mouths that laugh today can beg tomorrow. Later that evening, I watched Zainab walk to the gutter. For a moment, I thought she would drop the bag again. My heart stopped. But she did not. She stood there looking at the dirty water, then lifted the bag higher on her shoulder and walked inside. That simple act broke something inside me. I realized then that the bag was not the problem. The silence was. That night, I called a small meeting with 2 women on the street. We agreed to check on children more, not with shouting, not with judgment, with eyes and care. Because children do not always cry when they are drowning. Some of them quietly place their bags by the gutter and hope nobody notices. And I promised myself that as long as I sit in front of my house, no bag would suffer alone again. 2 weeks passed and help started coming. But help can be loud and quiet at the same time. Some people brought food with open hearts. Some brought eyes that measured everything. When you help today, tomorrow you want to talk about it. I noticed how some neighbors started watching Zainab too much. If she smiled, they said she was happy now. If she looked tired, they said help was not enough. People like to count other people's blessings. One afternoon, the landlord came. Tall man with big stomach and loud voice. He said he heard noise about sickness and charity. He stood in front of the building and asked questions like a policeman. He asked how long rent had not been paid. He asked who was feeding who. Zainab stood behind her mother, holding her wrapper tight. I stepped forward. My voice was shaking, but I did not stop. I told him sickness does not send letter before it comes. I told him a child should not be punished because her mother fell sick. Other women joined. Even Sadiq wiped his hands on his cloth and stood with us. The landlord looked around. Maybe he saw that eyes were on him. He cleared his throat and said he would reduce rent for some time. He walked away fast. That evening, Zainab cried for the first time since the rain. She cried hard. Her shoulders moved up and down like something was breaking inside her. I held her. I let her cry. Sometimes tears are the food the heart needs. The next week, I followed Zainab to school. I wanted to see where the food was coming from. I wanted to thank who needed thanking. Her school was crowded. Children ran everywhere. I watched Zainab walk small, greeting teachers with respect. One teacher noticed me and smiled. She said she had known for long. She said Zainab never begged with mouth, only with eyes. She said sometimes Zainab would hide food inside her desk because she was scared classmates would laugh. That fear sat heavy on me. Back home, I noticed Zainab started sleeping in class sometimes. Helping can reduce hunger, but it does not remove worry. She was still thinking like an adult inside a small body. One evening, rain started again. Light rain this time. Zainab stood at the door holding her bag. She looked at the gutter. She looked at me. Her hand shook. I knew what she was thinking. I walked to her and touched her shoulder. I told her the gutter had finished its work. I told her she did not need to hide anymore. She nodded, but did not smile. That night, I lay down and thought about how close she came to losing that bag forever. How easy it is for children like her to slip into water and nobody notices. I understood then that saving a child once is not enough. You have to keep watching, you have to keep standing, because rain does not warn before it returns. Months passed. The gutter stayed where it was, open and smelling, but it no longer scared me the way it used to. What scared me now was silence, the kind that hides pain behind normal days. Zainab's mother grew stronger small by small. Not fully healed, but enough to sit outside some evenings and feel the sun on her skin. Zainab returned fully to school. She still carried her bag carefully, but the weight inside it had changed. Books became more than food. Dreams started finding space again. One afternoon, as I fried akara, I saw a new girl walking slowly on our street. Her uniform was too big. Her eyes were looking down. When she reached her house, she removed her shoes and placed them by the gutter before entering. My chest tightened. I stood up immediately. I followed her and called her gently. She was surprised. She said she did not want her father to shout that she was dirtying the house. She thought leaving her shoes outside would keep peace inside. I held her hand and told her shoes are easier to clean than a child's heart. That was when I understood that the gutter would always be there, in different forms. Not just water and death, but fear, shame, and hunger. Children will always find places to hide things when adults stop seeing them. That evening, I sat outside longer than usual. I watched children come back from school. I watched how they walked, how they held their bags, how some smiled too hard and some did not smile at all. Zainab joined me. She was reading her book aloud, slow and steady. Her voice was clear, not rushed, not scared. I looked at her and felt something close to pride. Later, rain started again, soft and gentle. Water flowed through the gutter like before, but nothing important was near it. No bag, no shoes, no secrets. Zainab stood up to go inside. She carried her bag on her back. She did not look at the gutter. As she entered the house, she turned and waved at me. I waved back. That night, I slept well. Not because all problems had ended, but because one child had been seen before the water took her story away. And as long as I sit in front of my house, I will keep watching. Because sometimes, saving a child does not start with money or big words. It starts with noticing where they drop their bag.